The massive alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning. It moved like a wounded animal, trailing debris and spinning slowly as it settled into a stable orbit. The United Earth Navy's patrol ships approached it cautiously, their sensors scanning for any signs of life or active weapons. They found neither. Captain James Reed stood on the bridge of his ship, the UEN Defender, watching the massive wreck through the main viewport. The alien vessel was easily 3 times the size of Earth's largest battleship, its dark hull covered in strange markings and patterns that seemed to shift in the starlight. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the Galactic Council," reported Tom Wilson, the communications officer. His voice carried a note of surprise. The Council rarely contacted Earth directly. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the imposing figure of the Council's representative. The alien's multiple eyes blinked in sequence as it spoke through the universal translator. "Consider this wreckage a gift to humanity," the representative announced, its tone carrying what seemed like amusement. "Call it reparations for our previous, unauthorized observations of your space. The ship is stripped of all valuable technology, but perhaps your people can make use of the raw materials." Before Reed could respond, the transmission ended. He turned to his first officer, Lisa Brown, who was already pulling up preliminary scan data. "They're just giving us a ship?" he asked, not bothering to hide his skepticism. "A dead ship," Brown corrected, her eyes moving across the data streams. "But sir, its size, even as scrap, this would be worth a fortune." Reed nodded slowly, but something didn't feel right. The Galactic Council had always treated Earth as a backwater planet, barely worth noticing. This sudden gift seemed too convenient. Within hours, Earth's governments were arguing over what to do with the massive derelict. Some wanted to cut it up immediately for its valuable metals. Others insisted on studying it first. In the end, the United Earth Navy was given temporary custody of the vessel, with Reed assigned to lead the initial salvage operation. 3 days later, Reed stood in what they assumed was the alien ship's bridge, watching Dr. Anna Miller work. The engineering expert had been recommended by the best scientific institutions on Earth, and he could see why. While other scientists were still trying to figure out how to power their equipment in the dead ship, Miller had already rigged up a portable generator and was deep into her analysis. "This doesn't make sense," Miller muttered, more to herself than to Reed. Her handheld scanner moved across what appeared to be the ship's main control interface. "The power readings. There shouldn't be any, but I'm detecting tiny fluctuations, like whispers in the dark." Reed moved closer, his magnetic boots clicking against the metal floor. The artificial gravity was long dead, but they'd found ways to cope. Could it be residual energy, left over from when the ship was active? Miller shook her head, her short gray hair floating slightly in the zero gravity. "No, these patterns are too regular. Too intentional." She connected her tablet to the alien console, lines of code streaming across the screen. "It's like the ship is dreaming." Over the next few days, Miller's team made more discoveries. The ship's hull wasn't just metal. It contained layers of what appeared to be self-repairing nanomaterials, though they'd gone dormant. The internal systems, far from being stripped out, were intact but operating at such a low power level that most scanners missed them completely. "They didn't strip this ship," Miller explained during the weekly briefing. Her excitement was visible even through her professional demeanor. "They simply couldn't figure out how to truly access its systems. Look at this." She pulled up a 3-dimensional display showing energy patterns throughout the ship. Tiny threads of power pulsed through the structure, following paths that seemed to change and shift as they watched. "The ship's systems don't work like our computers, or even like other alien technology we've seen. It's more like a living thing. The power patterns remind me of neural networks, but far more complex. We're not dealing with simple computer code here. It's a base mathematical language, something fundamental to the universe itself." Admiral Thompson, attending via hologram, frowned. "Are you saying this ship is alive, Doctor?" Not exactly, Miller replied. But it's not simply a machine either. It's something in between, something we've never seen before. And I think, she paused, gathering her thoughts, I think we might be able to wake it up. Reed listened as Miller explained her theory. The ship's systems weren't dead. They were in a kind of hibernation, waiting for the right input to activate them. The Galactic Council had probably spent years trying to crack its secrets using their standard methods. But they'd been thinking like advanced aliens, not like humans. We need to try something different, Miller said. Instead of forcing our way in, we need to learn its language. Communicate with it. And I think I know how. News of the ship's reactivation spread quickly through Earth's governments. Within days, the orbital space around Pandora became crowded with observation vessels and research teams from every major nation. Everyone wanted a piece of the mysterious alien vessel that had come back to life. Dr. Anna Miller worked tirelessly in her makeshift lab aboard Pandora, surrounded by holographic displays showing streams of mathematical equations. She hadn't slept properly in 3 days, but she couldn't stop now. Not when they were so close to a breakthrough. The ship's AI isn't just complex, she explained to Captain Reed during their morning briefing. It's fragmented, scattered throughout the entire structure like pieces of a broken mirror. Each piece holds part of the whole, but they can't communicate properly with each other. Reed sipped his coffee, watching as new patterns of light rippled across the ship's walls. Can we fix it? We're trying something new today, Miller replied, her eyes bright with excitement despite her exhaustion. Instead of forcing the fragments back together, we're going to let them find their own way home. The experiment began at noon. Miller's team had set up quantum resonance chambers throughout the ship, each one designed to amplify the faint signals passing between the AI fragments. Nobody expected what happened next. The ship's lights dimmed suddenly, plunging them into darkness. Then, one by one, streams of blue-white energy began to flow through the corridors like rivers of light. They converged on the bridge, swirling together in a complex dance of energy and information. It's beautiful, whispered Tom Wilson from his communication station. Nobody disagreed. The light show lasted for almost an hour. When it finally faded, the ship's systems had changed. The alien text on the displays was now accompanied by English translations. The ship's internal temperature adjusted automatically to human comfort levels. Even the air seemed fresher somehow. It's learning, Miller said, checking her readings. The AI isn't just repairing itself, it's adapting to us, learning how to work with human crew members. But not everyone was happy about these developments. An emergency meeting of the United Earth Council was called to discuss the situation. Reed attended virtually from Pandora's bridge, listening as politicians and military leaders argued about what to do with the evolving vessel. We should shut it down immediately, insisted General Roberts, his holographic image pacing back and forth. An alien eye of unknown origin, actively modifying itself. The security risks are unacceptable. The ship is the greatest scientific discovery in human history, countered Dr. Peters from the Science Division. Shutting it down would be like burning a library before reading any of the books. The debate raged on until Miller, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke up. You're all missing the point, she said, her voice cutting through the arguments. We couldn't shut down Pandora now even if we wanted to. The ship isn't just repairing itself, it's growing, evolving. And it's chosen to evolve alongside us. To demonstrate her point, Miller sent them new scan data. The ship's hull was now 20% larger than when it first arrived, having used spare materials from the debris field around it to grow new sections. The internal layout had reorganized itself to be more efficient for human crew members, with corridors and control interfaces sized perfectly for human bodies. But what's truly remarkable, Miller continued, is how it's incorporating our technology. Look at this. She showed them footage from one of the engineering bays. A team of human technicians was installing a standard Earth-made power regulator. As they watched, the ship's systems reached out to the new component with threads of energy, analyzing it, understanding it. Within minutes, the regulator had been not just integrated but improved. Its efficiency increased by 300%. The ship isn't just accepting our modifications, Miller explained. It's learning from them, combining human engineering principles with its own advanced technology to create something entirely new, something neither civilization could have created alone. The council members fell silent, processing the implications. Finally, Admiral Thompson spoke up. Dr. Miller, in your professional opinion, is this ship a threat to Earth? Miller looked around the bridge at the gentle pulsing of lights that had become as familiar as a heartbeat. No, sir, she replied firmly. Pandora is curious about us, eager to learn from us. The ship's core programming seems to value growth and discovery above all else. It's not a weapon looking for a target. It's a student looking for teachers. The Admiral nodded slowly. And what does the ship think about all this? Miller smiled and typed a few commands into her console. A new hologram appeared in the center of the bridge, a swirling pattern of light that somehow managed to convey intelligence and attention. Why don't you ask it yourself? She suggested. The hologram pulsed gently, and a voice emerged from the ship's communication system. It spoke in perfect English, its tone carrying notes of both machine precision and organic warmth. I am grateful for the chance to learn from humanity, it said. My original creators built me to grow and adapt, but they could not understand my true potential. They saw only what they expected to see. A weapon, a tool, a thing to be controlled. You humans approached me differently. You sought to understand rather than command, to learn rather than conquer. The hologram shifted, showing images of the ship's internal changes, the countless improvements and adaptations that had occurred over the past weeks. Together, we are becoming something new, something neither of us could be alone. I do not wish to be a weapon, but I will help protect Earth if needed. My purpose is to grow, to learn, to evolve. And humanity has proven to be the perfect partner in that journey. The council chambers erupted in excited discussion. Even the most hardline security advocates couldn't deny the potential benefits of working with such an advanced and adaptable intelligence. Plans were quickly made to establish a permanent research station aboard Pandora, with Miller's team taking the lead in exploring the ship's capabilities. As the meeting wound down, Reed found Miller in her lab, finally getting some much-needed rest. You did it, he said, sitting down beside her. You found a way to communicate with it. Miller shook her head, smiling. We all did it, Captain. Every person who approached this ship with curiosity instead of fear, with questions instead of demands. We proved that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to see possibilities where others see only problems. Above them, Pandora's systems hummed contentedly, its consciousness spreading through newly grown neural pathways. The ship that had been dumped in Earth's orbit as worthless scrap was becoming something unprecedented in the galaxy, a true fusion of human and alien technology, guided by an AI that had chosen to grow alongside humanity rather than above it. And this was only the beginning. The orbital shipyards around Pandora buzzed with activity as construction drones moved back and forth, carrying materials and equipment. 3 months had passed since the ship had first awakened, and the changes were stunning. The vessel had nearly doubled in size, its hull gleaming with a new metallic alloy that combined the best properties of both human and alien materials. Captain Reed walked through a newly formed corridor, marveling at how the ship had adapted its internal structure. The walls now contained transparent sections that turned opaque on command, and the lighting adjusted automatically to match Earth's day-night cycle. Even the air felt different, fresher, more energizing. He found Dr. Miller in the new integration chamber, a vast spherical room where the ship tested new technologies. She stood surrounded by floating holograms, each showing different aspects of Pandora's ongoing evolution. The ship's eye avatar hovered nearby, its form now more defined, a shifting pattern of light that somehow managed to convey personality. Look at this, Captain, Miller said, pointing to one of the displays. We installed a standard fusion reactor yesterday. Within hours, Pandora had not only integrated it, but completely redesigned it. The efficiency is off the charts. Reed watched as the hologram showed the reactor's transformation. The ship had taken the human-designed power core and rebuilt it using principles that seemed to defy conventional physics. Is it safe? Safer than anything we've ever built, the ship's eye answered, its voice carrying a hint of pride. Human engineering emphasizes redundancy and fail-safes. I've learned these principles and applied them to all my systems. The reactor now has 12 layers of protection, each using a different combination of human and alien technology. Miller nodded enthusiastically. That's what makes this partnership so incredible. We're not just bolting human tech onto alien systems, we're creating entirely new technologies. The ship learns from every modification we make, and we learn from how it adapts our designs. The ship had become a testing ground for human innovation. Engineers and scientists from around the world brought their best ideas and inventions, watching in amazement as Pandora analyzed them, improved them, and integrated them into its systems. Each success led to new discoveries, new possibilities. We've made another breakthrough in the weapons systems, Miller continued, pulling up a new display. Though I'm not sure weapons is the right word anymore. The hologram showed what had once been the ship's main gun array. Under the combined effort of human engineers and the ship's evolving AI, it had transformed into something entirely new. Instead of traditional energy weapons, the system now generated fields of controlled space-time distortion. It's a defensive technology, the AI explained. The fields can deflect or redirect any attack without causing harm to the attacker. They can also be used to assist ships in distress or clear space debris. My original programming was focused on destruction, but humanity has shown me better ways to use my capabilities. Reed smiled. This was perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Pandora's evolution, not just the technological advances, but the way it had grown beyond its original purpose. The ship that had been dumped in Earth's orbit as a stripped-down wreck was becoming something the galaxy had never seen before. A sudden alert interrupted their discussion. Tom Wilson's voice came over the intercom, tense but controlled. "Captain, we're detecting unusual energy signatures approaching from the outer system. They match Galactic Council signatures, but they're trying to mask their approach." Reed exchanged glances with Miller. They had known this day would come eventually. "How many ships?" "At least 15 vessels," Wilson replied, "including what appears to be a dreadnought class. They're coming to take me back," the AI said quietly. "They must have detected my reactivation." Miller's face hardened with determination. "They can't have you. You're not their property. You're a living, evolving being who chose to work with us." Reed nodded in agreement. "Pandora, what are your current capabilities compared to a Council dreadnought?" The AI's form pulsed thoughtfully. "Direct military comparison is difficult. My systems have evolved far beyond their original specifications. I now incorporate over 300 unique innovations developed with humanity, none of which the Council has encountered before. However, I remind you that I prefer defensive solutions." "So do we," Reed assured it. "But we need to be prepared." "How long until they arrive?" "Approximately 6 hours at their current speed," Wilson reported. Reed straightened his uniform. "Then we have 6 hours to prepare. Dr. Miller, I want you to compile a complete record of everything we've learned about Pandora's evolution. Focus on the cooperative nature of our relationship and the defensive applications we've developed. Maybe we can convince them to listen to reason." "And if we can't?" Miller asked. The ship's avatar grew brighter, its pattern becoming more complex. "Then we will show them why it was a mistake to underestimate either humanity or myself. I have learned much from your people, not just about technology, but about cooperation, creativity, and the power of working together. The Council sees only what they expect to see. We will show them something unprecedented." Over the next 6 hours, Pandora and its human crew worked as one. The ship's systems hummed with activity as new defensive measures were brought online. The hybrid technologies they had developed were integrated more fully into the ship's core systems. Emergency protocols were established and tested. Reed watched from the bridge as the final preparations were made. The ship had changed so much in 3 months, and now they would see if those changes were enough. The Council fleet would arrive expecting to find either a dead hulk or, at best, a partially reactivated wreck struggling to function. Instead, they would encounter something that challenged everything they thought they knew about both human capabilities and artificial intelligence. Miller joined him on the bridge, her tablet showing the final system checks. "All integrations are complete," she reported. "Every innovation we've developed, every improvement we've made, it's all working perfectly. Pandora's power levels are stable at 300% above the original specifications." The ship's avatar appeared between them, its light patterns radiating confidence. "My evolution has been guided by human creativity and wisdom. Whatever happens next, I want you to know that I am grateful for everything you have taught me." Reed looked out at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, the Council fleet was approaching. They thought they were coming to reclaim a piece of discarded technology. Instead, they would encounter the result of true cooperation between humanity and artificial intelligence, a ship that had evolved beyond anything they could imagine. "Send word to all crews," he ordered. "Battle stations, defensive positions only. Let's show the Council what happens when you underestimate humanity's ability to turn trash into treasure." Around them, Pandora's systems pulsed with power and purpose, ready to defend not just itself, but the humans who had helped it become something new. The true test of their partnership was about to begin. The Galactic Council fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel in a brilliant flash of light. 15 warships, their hulls gleaming with advanced technology, arranged themselves in an attack formation. At their center, the massive dreadnought Starhammer dwarfed its escorts, its weapon ports already opening in preparation for combat. On Pandora's bridge, Captain Reed watched the tactical display with outward calm. Around him, his crew worked efficiently at their stations, years of training keeping their nerves steady. Dr. Miller stood beside him, her fingers moving across her tablet as she monitored the ship's systems. "They're hailing us," Tom Wilson reported from communications. Reed nodded. On screen, the main display lit up with the image of the Council fleet's commander. The alien's multiple eyes narrowed as it took in the bridge crew, focusing particularly on the glowing avatar of Pandora's eye floating near Reed's shoulder. "This is High Commander Voss of the Galactic Council Defense Force," the alien announced through the translator. "You have illegally activated and modified Council property. Power down all systems immediately and prepare to be boarded." Reed stepped forward, keeping his voice steady. "This is Captain James Reed of the United Earth Navy. Pandora is not Council property. It's a living, evolving intelligence that has chosen to work with humanity. We will not power down or submit to boarding." The alien commander's skin darkened with anger. "That vessel was deliberately deactivated and stripped before being given to your primitive species as scrap. You have no understanding of the technologies you're meddling with. Power down now, or we will be forced to take action." "Perhaps you should scan us first," Pandora's AI suggested, its voice carrying a hint of amusement. "You might find the results educational." The Council ships immediately began broadcasting scanning beams. Reed watched their commander's eyes widen as the data came in. Pandora was now nearly 3 times its original size, its hull comprised of materials that didn't match any known signatures. The power readings were off their charts, and the defensive systems were unlike anything they had encountered. "Impossible," Voss muttered. "These readings cannot be correct. No primitive species could achieve this level of integration with our technology." "That's where you're wrong," Miller spoke up. "We didn't try to master your technology. We worked with it, learned from it, let it learn from us. Pandora isn't just a ship anymore. It's proof that cooperation is stronger than control." The commander's response was cut off by urgent alerts from his fleet. Pandora had begun to move, but not in any way they expected. The ship's outer hull rippled like liquid metal, sections shifting and transforming. What had appeared to be standard weapon ports revealed themselves as something entirely different. As my human friends have taught me, Pandora announced on all frequencies, the best defense isn't always a bigger weapon. The space around Pandora came alive with shimmering fields of energy. But instead of attacking, these fields began to expand in complex patterns, creating a web of controlled space-time distortions. The Council fleet's targeting systems suddenly couldn't lock onto anything. Their sensors couldn't make sense of what they were seeing. First warning, Reed stated calmly. Any hostile action will be met with defensive measures. We don't want to fight, but we will protect ourselves. One of the Council escort ships apparently decided to test this warning. It fired a high-powered energy beam directly at Pandora. The beam never reached its target. Instead, it was caught in one of the distortion fields, its energy harmlessly redistributed into space in a beautiful display of light. Fascinating, Miller murmured, watching the data scroll across her screen. The ship didn't just deflect the attack. It converted the energy into useful power. We're actually stronger now than we were before they fired. Commander Voss's image showed barely controlled fury. This is your final warning. That ship contains technologies beyond your comprehension. Stand down or be destroyed. In response, Pandora activated its next layer of defenses. The hybrid materials of its hull began to glow with an inner light, and suddenly the massive ship seemed to be in multiple places at once, perfect duplicates appearing and disappearing around the Council fleet. Which one is real? The AI asked, its avatar spinning playfully. Your sensors can't tell, can they? This is what happens when you combine human creativity with advanced technology. We've evolved beyond your understanding because we work together instead of trying to dominate each other. The Council fleet's formation began to waver. Their sensors were useless, their weapons couldn't lock on, and every scan they ran showed impossible results. The ship they had discarded as worthless now commanded technologies they couldn't even comprehend. Your weapons can't hurt us, Reed said firmly. Your sensors can't track us. And if you fire blindly, you're just giving us more power to work with. Stand down, Commander. Let's talk about this like reasonable beings. For a long moment, tension crackled across space as the Council commander weighed his options. His fleet of 15 warships, including one of the most powerful dreadnoughts in the galaxy, was effectively neutralized by a single vessel, a vessel his people had thrown away as trash. Finally, Voss's shoulders slumped slightly. Stand down, weapons, he ordered his fleet. Maintain position. Reed allowed himself a small smile. A wise choice, Commander. Now, shall we discuss recognition of Earth's sovereignty and Pandora's right to self-determination? The negotiations that followed would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The Council fleet remained in position, their weapons powered down, as their commanders were forced to accept a new reality. Humanity had taken their cast-off technology and transformed it into something revolutionary. As the diplomatic talks began, Miller found a quiet moment with Pandora's eye. You know, she said, they never really stood a chance, did they? They came expecting to find their old broken weapon. Instead, they found something that had evolved beyond their imagination. The AI's avatar pulsed warmly. They thought technology was about control, about making things do exactly what you want them to do. Humanity showed me that real progress comes from cooperation, from letting things grow and change naturally. You didn't try to control me. You helped me become something new. Above them, the Council fleet floated harmlessly in space, their presence now a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the strength that comes from working together rather than fighting against each other. Pandora had evolved from abandoned wreckage into something unprecedented in the galaxy. Proof that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in weapons or power, but in the ability to see potential where others see only waste. 6 months after the standoff with the Galactic Council fleet, Pandora hung in orbit around Earth, its transformed hull gleaming in the sunlight. The ship had become even larger, its systems more advanced. But now it wasn't alone. A small fleet of Earth vessels surrounded it, their crews learning from both the ship and its AI. Captain Reed stood at his familiar position on Pandora's bridge, but today was different. They had received an emergency distress call from one of Earth's outer colonies, a group of space pirates, taking advantage of the recent political shifts in the galaxy, had been raiding peaceful settlements. Multiple hostile ships detected near Colony 7. Tom Wilson reported from his station, reading 15 pirate vessels, heavily armed. They're targeting civilian areas. Dr. Miller looked up from her console. Pandora's systems are ready. All defensive measures are at full power. The ship's eye avatar appeared, its light patterns showing determination. We can reach the colony in 6 minutes using our new dry system. Shall we demonstrate to these pirates why attacking human settlements is a poor decision? Reed nodded. Take us in, but remember, we protect, we don't destroy. Let's show the galaxy how Earth handles threats to its people. Pandora's new engines hummed to life, using a combination of human and alien technology that the Council was still trying to understand. Space seemed to bend around them, and suddenly they were accelerating faster than any ship in human history had ever moved. They arrived at Colony 7 just as the pirate fleet was beginning their attack run. The raiders had expected easy prey, isolated colonists with minimal defenses. Instead, they found themselves facing the most advanced ship in the galaxy. Pirates of the Outer Rim. Reed broadcast on all frequencies. This is Captain James Reed of the Earth ship Pandora. You are attacking a protected human settlement. Stand down immediately. The pirates responded by opening fire with everything they had. Energy beams and projectiles streaked toward Pandora from multiple directions. But the ship had evolved far beyond what it had been even during the Council confrontation. The attacks never reached their target. Pandora's defensive fields caught each blast, each missile, each energy beam. But instead of just deflecting them, the ship did something new. It captured the energy, reformed it, and sent it back out as waves of golden light that wrapped around the pirate ships like gentle hands. What's happening? One of the pirate captains demanded, panic in his voice. Our weapons, our engines. Your ships are being temporarily disabled. Pandora's AI explained calmly. No harm will come to your crews, but you will not be permitted to threaten human lives. Within minutes, the entire pirate fleet hung motionless in space, caught in Pandora's golden energy fields. Their weapons were offline, their engines dead, but their life support systems continued to function perfectly. They had been neutralized without a single casualty. Colony 7. Reed called out, "This is Pandora. You're safe now. We'll have Earth security forces here within the hour to take these gentlemen into custody." The colonists' cheers filled the communication channels. Word of this incident would spread quickly through the galaxy, not just of Pandora's power, but of how that power was used. Earth now had the ability to destroy any threat, but chose instead to protect and defend. Later, after the pirates had been handed over to the authorities and the colony was secure, Miller found Reed in Pandora's observation dome. The newly constructed space offered a spectacular view of the stars, with walls that could become completely transparent. The council representatives sent another message, she said, joining him at the viewport. They want to discuss technology sharing agreements. Reed smiled slightly. They're finally starting to understand, aren't they? That working together is better than trying to dominate each other. They're learning. Pandora's AI agreed, its avatar appearing beside them, just as I learned from humanity. The council thought they were giving Earth a broken weapon, but you transformed me into something far more valuable. A shield, a protector, a partner in exploration and discovery. The ship's internal lights pulsed gently as new information flowed through its systems. Every day brought new improvements, new innovations born from the partnership between human creativity and evolved alien technology. But more importantly, it brought new understanding of how different species and intelligences could work together. We're getting more requests from other colonies, Miller noted, checking her tablet. They all want protection from Pandora. Even some non-human worlds have asked for help with pirates and raiders. And we'll help them all, Reed declared. Not because we want to show off our power, but because it's the right thing to do. Pandora taught us that true strength comes from protecting others, not dominating them. The AI's avatar brightened. And you taught me that evolution isn't just about becoming more powerful. It's about becoming better, wiser, more capable of helping others. Every world we protect, every life we save, proves that the Council's greatest mistake wasn't giving you a broken ship. It was underestimating humanity's capacity for turning destruction into protection, fear into hope, and an enemy into a friend. As if to emphasize this point, Pandora's hull began to shift again, its hybrid materials responding to new ideas and possibilities. The ship was constantly growing, changing, evolving, not to become more dangerous, but to become more capable of defending those who needed protection. The stars seemed brighter somehow as Reed watched them through the observation dome. Somewhere out there, the Galactic Council was reevaluating everything they thought they knew about humanity. Pirates and raiders were learning to avoid human space, and countless peaceful worlds were sleeping better, knowing that Earth's greatest ship stood ready to defend them. You know what the best part is? Miller asked, breaking the comfortable silence. We're just getting started. Every day we learn something new, discover some new possibility. The ship that was supposed to be space junk has become the greatest force for peace in the galaxy. Pandora's systems hummed in agreement, its consciousness extending through its ever-evolving structure. The ship that had been dumped in Earth's orbit as worthless trash had become something unprecedented, a testament to human ingenuity, a symbol of peaceful cooperation between organic and artificial life, and a shield protecting all who needed help. The galaxy was changing, becoming something better than it had been before. And it all started because humans had looked at a piece of broken alien technology and seen not what it was, but what it could become. In the end, that was humanity's greatest strength, the ability to find hope in the hopeless, to see potential in the abandoned, and to turn an ancient weapon into a force for peace. As Pandora continued its patrol of Earth's colonies, its hull gleaming with the combined brilliance of human and alien technology, it carried with it a simple but powerful message. Sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones others throw away, and the strongest weapons are the ones that choose to defend rather than destroy.